Greetings everybody, this is Daddy the Granddaddy, and today I give you my top 5 list for the best Lucid attacks in Dreamscaper that will help you get through the game a little bit more efficiently. Number 5 on my list is Torrential Frost. This ability is actually very intricate. It has a 20-second cooldown and deals very small damage in a lot of small doses. The great thing about it is that each and every one of these ticks has a chance to freeze an enemy up. That makes them completely harmless and just forces them to stand around waiting for their fate. That allows you to either combo into your other abilities for huge extinguish crits, or you can just outright kill them with the ability itself if you get a critical strike out of one of your Torrential Frost ticks. So if you just have a slight increase in your critical strike chance, Torrential Frost will be a huge help for getting you through rooms of regular enemies. Now keep in mind, that does not work against bosses, but will still help you a great deal, just on a room-to-room basis. On number 4, we have probably my most favorite ability in the game. Fire Burst is so cool. You basically become Roy Mustang, snap your fingers, and stuff explodes into flames. It is very powerful, very quick on the execution, has a decently large radius of attack, and because it is a fire attack, it just combos into extinguishes with so many other abilities in the game. This is the good or reliable. You can pick Fire Burst into almost every run and have a decent time with it, but if you get something that really makes those extinguish combos shine bright like a diamond, you will see some huge numbers coming out of this. Fire Burst easily fits into every run, and I highly suggest that you give it a good old try. Rain of Blades is our number 3. Rain of Blades probably is one of the abilities that carried some of my earliest runs the hardest. It used to be a little bit stronger than it is now, but it hasn't lost its touch. On a 12-second cooldown, it hits decently hard, but most importantly, it will make an entire room of enemies just be unable to act for a couple of seconds because it makes all regular enemies flinch every time it hits. It also deals decent damage, so even against bosses it will not fall off. And if you get some specific keepsakes that affect your ranged attacks, those will also apply to Rain of Blades. For example, say you have homing, the projectiles will home in harder. Say you have ricochets. Ricochets will also make those Rain of Blades hit more enemies all the time. It is just a very powerful item that fits into a lot of good runs, and even if it doesn't, it will make everything you do a lot more efficient. Pick up Rain of Blades, guys, you will not regret it. Number 2 goes to I Don't Know How to Leave. There is so many good things to say about it that I don't know where to start. It deals decent damage, it automatically homes, it makes enemies flinch and pulls them to you, it even bypasses those pesky shields some enemies carry around. It counts as a projectile, so if you get extra projectiles, or piercing projectiles, or ricocheting projectiles, all of those will affect I Don't Know How to Leave as well. And if you get a run that stacks some of these effects up, you can get away using nothing else than I Don't Know How to Leave. And it will work out! I Don't Know How to Leave is just such a strong and powerful ability that has so much different potential that you can utilize, and it just fits on every run. Most abilities I have covered so far have very decently long cooldowns and are great for just entry measures or to finish someone off. But this is an ability you can use on a rotational basis and just focus your entire run around. Like if you have I Don't Know How to Leave, you could get away just using that for the entire rest of the run, and there's a good chance you will get away with it. Now you probably shouldn't do that, but you could. That's just how good it is. The number 1 spot goes to Wild Squall. If you have seen some of my recent episodes, you have seen me pick this item up a lot, and I would say that some of my most interesting victories are thanks to this one item. Wild Squall has a very long cooldown of 45 seconds, but it packs a punch for that. It covers the entire room without any respect for anyone. It even destroys all of the destructible objects in the room, so keep that in mind. It deals its damage in several ticks, and also makes enemies more likely to be affected by critical attacks. So that is immediately powerful. Most small enemies, they immediately die just from using this ability. And everyone else will be crowd controlled, they will just flinch so they can't move, giving you the time to scout the room, see where your opportunities are, and immediately execute upon them. This is easily one of the best abilities that you can use the moment you enter a room. And that is the most important moment every time you play a game. You want to enter a room, you want to immediately see what's up, you want to see the enemies that you're going to face, and immediately want to have an advantage over them because some of them have some very, very scummy attacks. And Wild Scroll gives you exactly that effect. And because you immediately apply that wind effect on anyone else, you have the perfect window of opportunity to follow it up with an extinguish combo on them. Say you have Fire Burst on top of Wild Scroll. Enter the room, flinch all the enemies, bam! Fire Burst with the snap of the finger, big explosion, huge damage, good game. I love Wild Scroll, and there's a lot of other cool things you can do with him. Like, for example, absolutely destroying the first boss the moment he spawns in, just by virtue of the fact that you can make multiple bombs explode at once. Or the third boss, where you have to destroy those nodes in order to prevent them from empowering the boss. Wild Scroll is huge, and it has carried me through many a run in the past, and will probably carry you as well. As a bonus, let me talk about Astral Blow. Astral Blow is special because you can't actually find it in the game. The only way to get it is by starting out with it. And you would assume that it's just a regular start ability that has nothing fancy going for it. Not so. It is a very nice and easy to use and fun to use ability. It deals good damage, deals its damage in small ticks, so if you have something that relies on critical effects, that has a pretty high likelihood to trigger. It is a melee ability for the most part, so weaving in and out of your melee strikes with it is incredibly easy to do and also just very satisfying. The knockback it applies is very strong, so you can use it in order to control big enemies or even just small groups of enemies that are bunched together. Just knock them away with like the wind and wail on them until they suffer a crushing defeat. You can build a run around it to some degree. You can walk into the enchantment rooms and just upgrade Astral Blow so it can keep itself relevant. And the damage, it looks small, but it actually adds up. Keep an eye out on Astral Blow, guys, and every now and then when you just want to mix up things, remember that it exists. Trust me, it will be worth your while. And that was my top 5 list. I hope you enjoyed this, and more importantly, I hope that this list will help you get through the game a little bit more efficiently and maybe have a crack at some of the harder difficulties this game can throw at you. If you have other abilities that you personally found very efficient or effective, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll refresh this list at some point if you bring in some convincing arguments. I've been Daddy the Grand, you've been awesome, and thanks for watching.